fact, it's an absolute pleasure. To think that, was it 18 months ago we will have been, if you, geography, you want to know where we were just down the road from where we had Christmas dinner. Do you remember? We went out for dinner in December. What was that, December 2019. So 18 months later, here we are back together in a room, which is, again, it's amazing. And it's a privilege for me. I was in Florida a couple of weeks back. It's just an honor to be able to do this, and I do anything I can to get these events on in person and in the room because of the real impact of these events, which is yourself and together, and the conversations that you'll have, whether it's business owner to business owner, whether it's marketing assistant to marketing assistant, ops person, front desk person. The conversations that you can have with each other, I think, are actually the real value of this. And no matter what I teach you today, no matter what we go through together, the real absolute value will be each other, and never forget that. Fastest way to be successful, surround yourself with the people that are having the level of success that you want to have, and never close yourself off from that. It's very easy to get into a mode where you want to read, you want to learn, you want to listen to podcasts, read books, great, but nothing will ever beat the conversations that you can have with a business owner who has gone through the challenges that you've gone through, learned some lessons, got the battle scars, and can advise you of the pitfalls or the paths or the direction that you could maybe go in. And really, when we put these sessions together, that's what I hope as you go through the 2 days that will in the end be the real value of it. Sometimes it's encouraging to hear that somebody's doing better than you. Sometimes it's encouraging to hear that you're doing better than other people. And in a situation like what we've had over the last 18 months, where you probably think that the whole world has conspired against you individually, it's very easy to take that personally and think that it's just your hiring challenges, or it's just your clients who don't want to pay their fees, or it's your staff who don't want to show up for work. I guarantee you it's going on in every town, in every country, everywhere in the world. Doesn't necessarily make it easier, but it does immediately change the way that you see it. And back to what Andre was talking about today when he said he came back for the mindset stuff. I mean, I like the word mindset, I get it, but I think it doesn't really do it justice as to what it actually is. When we face challenges as a business owner, whether it's as a father, whether it's as a partner, whether it's in life, whatever crap life is chucking at you, the mindset thing is probably the key to pretty much everything that happens next. And rather than thinking of it as mindset, whichever way you look at that's up to you. I like to see it quite simply as just changing the way I see the problem. And that's all it ever is, really. When it all boils back down, if I see the problem differently from you, I'm going to get a very different outcome. If you have a fixed view of a problem and you're rigid and you're tight and you're stiff, and your view of that hiring challenge is this big and my view of it is this big, well, I'm going to have a very different outcome to you in the end. And that's something that needs to be trained. It's something that has to be worked at. It's never ending. It never, ever, ever is a permanent fix. You're always going to get caught out. Conversations are always going to pull you back to a low level of thinking about how to solve the problem. And an indicator of how long it's took me to kind of even get to this point, we were clearing the office out recently, and Nick and, was it you, Lewis? I think you and Nick were involved in it. And I keep telling them about all of the studying and the books I've read and the magazines I've subscribed to over the years. I'm like, there's thousands, tens of thousands of pounds of stuff in this office, in cupboards, in boxes. And they were clearing these things out recently, and sure enough, there's all my magazines with highlights, circles, pages folded from 2008, 2009, 2010. I used to devour stuff, anything to do with entrepreneurial success, mindset, whatever. And I genuinely think that over a period of time changed my view of probably life, really, and more specifically the size of it and actually what we're involved in, because I think for so many people their view is this big, and their perception of the problem and the challenge that they've got actually limits the outcome that they're going to get. So really I try to expand the number of options and choices that I've got with my life, with my circumstances, with whatever it is that I'm dealing with. And it doesn't necessarily come from a physical thing, it always comes from a way I look at the thing. And what else could it mean? Is there another option? This is what they might do. What might somebody I admire might do? If this person's going to do it this way, how would this person do it? And I try to think about all of the different ways that I can get around a problem or a challenge, even if I can't change I can't change the hiring problem right now. There's nothing I can do. Like, it's happening in the United States, it's happening in the United Kingdom. People are not showing up for interviews. There's nothing I can do, but I can change the way that I see it so that it doesn't impact me, and then it doesn't impact the decisions that I make. Because if I get angst about the hiring situation, well, that's going to show up in my office. And if I bring that to work, that changes how Simon does his job. It changes how Sophie does her job. And before I know it, I've got a new problem called Sophie's quit because she doesn't want to work for somebody who's a pain in the ass, or who's constantly angst, or who's constantly stressed, or irate about a problem that actually I can do nothing about, other than double down, make sure that we do even more, if you like, commitment to recruitment. That if there's only 5 people showing up instead of 20, well, we've got to do even more work to get that good person that we're looking for. But I don't have to bring a level of angst or frustration to it, because it's a set of circumstances that I absolutely can't control. So the only thing that I can ever control is how I react to it. And I think that's really what I hope many of you take from my teachings, and the way that if anybody is following it or likes any of it, that's the bit that I would like people to kind of zoom in on it, where you actually get control of your own responses and reactions to the things, to the shit that's happening to you. There's nothing that you can do. No. I say this, and I don't want to go immediately to governments and COVID and various things. But if you are still looking at this government and these people who are making these decisions and without laughing, and thinking that sadly these people are running the fucking country and controlling people's lives, and sadly many people are staring at the telly every night waiting to be told what they can do, how to think, how to live, how to react, and not being allowed any judgment on their own, not being allowed to look at their own lives and actually make their own decisions, their own discernment. The real biggest and best skill that you've got is the ability to judge and decide. That's been slowly eroded from this society, and I think that's the biggest thing. And I remember saying it about a year in, the biggest thing that I'm fearful of through this whole situation is we come out at the other end. I mean, there was a limit to the amount of thinking that was going on anyway, but by the time this thing finishes, holy shit, like, there's going to be a serious lack of thought process and people actually taking responsibility for their own lives. Slowly but surely, every single day, that's what's happening in this situation right now. But it's just part of a bigger problem that for the majority of people, they can't take control of their own lives. They can't take decisions. They can't live with getting a decision wrong. They can't live with a decision that they have to make that might not turn out favourable, that might not go the way that they expected it to, and as a result shy away from making decisions. Then you see that applied in business. All of a sudden a business owner starts to have to make decisions about people. Well, I don't want to hire somebody just in case I get it wrong. I don't want to do this marketing thing just in case I get it wrong. And actually the real skill is to be able to learn to live with the decision that you get wrong, pick yourself back up and go, you know what, I'm all right. Confidence doesn't necessarily come from getting the decision right. If you'd have pushed me on that a few years ago, I'd said, oh yeah, you get a few decisions, you get these decisions right, and you'll be super confident with your recruitment, or you'll be very confident with your marketing. I can categorically tell you the confidence comes from knowing that even if you get it wrong, you'll be all right. Because for most people are walking on eggshells all day, every day, waiting for the mistake to happen, which inevitably it does. If you live long enough, you'll make a shitload of them. And the pain that comes with making that mistake is the bit that they can't live with. Henceforth, they live in fear pretty much all of their life, even if they get 4 or 5 decisions right, of the one that they get wrong, and that's the one that paralyzes them.
Thanks for watching this video, and if you found it helpful, and if you now find yourself thinking, I wonder what else this person can help me with, head over to paulgoff.com/books, where you can find my best-selling books, which will show you how to add more profit to your practice. Or send an email to paul@paulgoff.com to ask about how we can help you accelerate the growth and profitability of your clinic. And by the way, if you know anybody who would find this helpful, please share this video out. Thanks so much.